Our Campaign 2020 coverage continues in Salinas, where a fresh face will have big shoes to fill. Mayor Joe Gunter's sudden death this summer means the city's going to have a new leader for the first time since 2012. There are 5 candidates in the race: Kimberly Craig, Chris Barrera, Ernesto Gonzalez, Michael Leip, and Wes White. I sat down with all of them to ask why they're the right person to guide Salinas through COVID-19 and heavy city leadership turnover. The city of Salinas will see a new mayor. At least 2 but up to 4 of the city council seats new as well. And the search is also on for a new city manager. Not to mention the issues at hand. Salinas was just starting their plan to stave off a $60 million projected budget deficit over 10 years. And in the middle of progress came COVID-19, leading to a $19 million hole before cuts. We have 5 candidates to choose from with very different backgrounds. Kimberly Craig says she would come with a short learning curve.
Now is the time for somebody with that experience to take the role, and I feel very comfortable taking on the role of mayor. I feel like I could walk into City Hall tomorrow and start without any issue whatsoever.
Craig is 2 years removed from an 8-year stint on Salinas City Council. She touts endorsements from half the current council and members of the Gunter family, pulling in $25,000 in contributions from the late mayor's campaign. Right now, she's the president and CEO of Monterey County Business Council, a position she believes that allows her to right the ship through COVID-19.
Get commerce going again, economic recovery. We really need to make sure that we are allowing small businesses to thrive and that we are luring big businesses to have good jobs and a better economy in our community.
But if Craig represents a steady hand, the other candidates call for a new voice. There's Chris Barrera, a real estate agent and president of the local League of United Latin American Citizens, endorsed by the Monterey County Democratic Party.
Stop the wasteful spending at City Hall, and there is a lot. To bridge that budget gap, we are going to have to use the reserves. You know, I mean, that's for a rainy day, and right now it's pouring.
He says his campaign's about finding better ways to spend the city's money.
Why in the heck aren't our sidewalks and trees and potholes fixed? Well, because it's going to other areas of the city, you know, and right now with the downtown project, you know, $21 million into that project. I don't agree with that at all.
A sentiment shared by another candidate, Ernesto Gonzalez.
You hear it from a lot of individuals. The east side or the north side or the west side are sometimes abandoned, and even some sections of South Salinas.
Gonzalez left in the middle of his one and only term on city council nearly 20 years ago, but spent decades in local schools, including as a principal. He's currently on the County Planning Commission and endorsed by the Salinas Valley Democratic Club.
Tax breaks or some type of breaks to some of the small businesses so that they can continue operating. This is that we can do to try to look at ideas or other areas, other cities or towns that are spending less, and are they being successful?
Mike Leip, the chosen candidate of the Monterey County Republican Party, currently in transportation.
Our family business here has been in business with our farming community for the last 80 years, and I know how to get them in the room together to help solve these problems. I know how to get these organizations in the room to solve these problems.
In our interview, he essentially calls for a dive into the city's spending, referring to a, quote, deep state of decision-making. He also points to neighborhoods in desperate need of transformation.
Each council member take up a committee for infrastructure within their district. We need to identify these blighted and rundown neighborhoods that we can collectively come together with a new way of thinking, a new type of partnership with the landowner, with the developer, and the city.
And after dropping out of the race in 2018, Wes White stayed in for the long haul this time. The substitute teacher and described community enthusiast talks about a city that's good at getting what they want, but priorities are in the wrong place. White can be found at most community events behind his camera, often advocating for the homeless.
I started with Measure G and worrying about the money, and then they passed the storage of personal property on city property. And all these pinprick of, you know, you're taking a dime here and a nickel there, that's fine, that's just money. But when you start hurting people directly, I think that's when I started noticing the incongruence of the policy and practice not lining up.
For more on this race and others around our Central Coast, go to our website, KION546.com, click on the Politics tab, and make sure you check out our 2020 voter guide.